What's one of your favorite songs, Olive? Would you like to sing one of them for me?
Oh my. Carolyn.
Yes.
Tell them that I've been croaking for a while. I was born on the 14th of November, 1920.
Which means you're 100 years old.
Yes.
Oh, okay. And which parish were you born in, Olive?
I suppose it's Kingston.
So tell me, Olive, what does it feel like to be 100 years old?
What does it feel like to be 100 years old?
I don't know. I don't know. Because apart from a little discomfort, I feel the same. But I know there's difference. But I hear about this 100, but I don't know that it feels any different.
What do you remember about growing up?
Lots of things. I remember when I was a very small child and used to play in the yard. I remember my first book. I think it had ABC or something like that all over the outside. I remember going to Wesley School. You know Wesley?
Wesleyan School?
Wesley,
Okay, in which parish?
Kingston.
She and her older sister moved to Montego Bay, I don't know at what age. And but she says that it seems that there were lots of children in the house. And she'd go to music lessons from school. Everybody walked in those days, she was saying, so everything was walking. And she remembered, you have another piano teacher story, but she remembered the first day the teacher took her to church for her to try to play the organ, but her feet couldn't reach the pedals. So, very disappointed, they had to go back home without that lesson. But she said that they were like constantly practicing on the piano at the house. They got a piano that had what's called an auto piano, so it could play music, but they weren't allowed to play the music. And she said that she can remember when a king died. She didn't say which king. She can remember when a king died and the adults were out, and so they grabbed the opportunity to play the music, and then somebody heard the gate pull and the adults were coming back, and of course everywhere was solemn, right? And the radio was reporting the death of the king, and they were there playing jazz music and happy music on the piano, so of course they get beaten. But yeah, so she told me that story recently.
What else do you remember?
Going to college, short college it was. I don't know what it is now. Sorted college. It was built or for girls or young women, but I understand that in latter years, male was introduced to the college, but it was the only teaching place that I can remember. You know, my eyes are dim. I used to have a
Song.
yes.
Yes. My eyes are dim, I cannot see.
I left my
Speaks
specs
at home.
I just remember it. My eyes are dim. Well, my eyes are dim. I can see some things, but I can't make out. I can't see her features,
Mm.
but I can make out the form. And I can see you shaking your head.
Okay, okay.
All that. But I can't tell you how pretty you are. I can't see the beauty.
They were always practicing on the piano, and I think she would practice more than the others because on a Sunday she'd be the only one practicing to play hymns for church. And she said the neighbors never complained. She don't understand why the neighbors never complained. She said that she remember one time somebody sent a messenger to ask them not to play because a lady next door was sick.
She was doing, I think it was Trinity exams, and she was around between 5 and 8. She says it was a white teacher. I think her name was Prendergast or Prender something. And she was very strict. And she was very aggressive. So she was playing something. I think she was zoning out, wasn't particularly focused. So she misplayed something a few times, and the lady took the pin from the chair and smashed it against the keys. But Aunt Anne happened to move her hands just in time, so she kindly took up her book and ran.
She mentioned inside that she went to Shortwood Teachers College. What did she pursue there?
That is an excellent question that I don't know the answer to. I'll tell you what I do know. She said she graduated in 1943. It seems from what I've seen on some papers that I've found that their school year started in January. So the thing that we found recently that is interesting, her father was Sergeant Major Alexander Nathaniel Dixon or something like that. The principal of Shortwood at that time, Miss Olson, wrote to him after Aunt Oliv's first term there to say that she wasn't performing up to par and that she had discipline problems. And her father was not amused and said the only thing that is keeping him from coming is I think some labor disturbances on a Bernard estate in Montego Bay or something like that. As soon as he was free, he would come. I know she got to continue, and I think part of the reason she got to continue was because she was playing the piano for their services as well. But I think the thing that was her part that contributed to her so-called discipline problem was that she was mischievous. That she was chatty, and she was mischievous. She would leave church and go to pick mango and these kinds of things. So, so the thing is that I can imagine that for 1940s colonial Jamaica, at a teacher's college, her behavior was too rambunctious for their standards. And she taught for a few years in maybe 2 or 3 places, but then she went away to study. To be a dietitian, to study nutrition at NYU. So when she came back, she'd been working in hospitals ever since then, and her longest stint was at Savannah Lamar Hospital.
As a dietitian?
As a dietitian, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so she retired, that's where she retired from. And she was traveling. She would serve Savannah Lamar and I think Black River as well.
And since of lately, she doesn't go for diabetic and stuff like that anymore. If you bring the fresh food or the salt food, she will ask you, how far you stay and put sugar or salt in this bag. Yes.
That's her approach to
No,
words.
yes.
Yes, no.
Yeah.
No.
She was very
No,
restrictive.
but even so, even in that, she's still trying to adjust her diet to deal with whatever issues she has. So she's belching a lot, and she wants to know what is causing the belching and what can stop it. And if she's, I was recognizing the other day that if she doesn't have a spirit of, I've lived too long, it's time to go. She's like, if anything is wrong, it's like something is wrong, we have to fix it.
Have to fix it, yes. And she would have said okay, stop eating fruits for now to say the fruits, stop eating something.
She's still adjusting her diet to deal with whatever issues she recognizes she has.
I remember going to church and becoming a member of the Methodist Church. That's what I Wesleyan Methodist because and up in this day, I am a member of the Methodist Church.
What were some of the things you were involved in at church?
Singing.
Mm-hmm.
I love to sing.
What's one of your favorite songs, Olive?
Oh my.
You need to come.
Can't come.
Would you like to sing one of them for me?
Oh my. Carolyn,
Yes.
tell them that I've been croaking for a while.
Oh, glorious above, oh, gratefully sing His power and His love, oh, shield and defender, the Ancient of Days, pavilioned in splendor and girded